guy go. Triple drive, backs it in, and gets it.
We greet you live from the Macon Coliseum. The GPB Hoop de Jour Tour wraps it up here tonight with the AAA State Championship. Here tonight, the Drew Titans against the Columbia Eagles. It'll be Region 4 versus Region 5. With me right now, late night, my buddy in crime, and he's done a great job all weekend long, Herb White. And Herb, we take a look at these two basketball teams. They close things out for championship weekend. What do we have in store for?
Well, it's a classic story of a perennial powerhouse going for their third championship in a row in Columbia. They're always here, it seems like, against an upstart school, only about 3 years old, coming out of Clayton County, Drew. So they're trying to leave a mark, start to make their mark. So it's going to be interesting. And we've seen Phil McCrary's squads. We know what they do. They like to pound it inside with those big guys. And Drew's just going to have to try to hang with them inside. All right, we take a look at how Charles Drew High School got here. They got here from Riverdale, and they move on the road to the finals over Waco in the first round, Westover, Henry County, and then a semifinal victory over Washington. And you see right now the Columbia road to Macon over Shaw, Dalton, Carrollton, and Eagles Landing, and a 14-point victory. And, you know, we talk about Drew, and they have a kid by the name of Garcia right now. He is one of the two-way starters for two sport starters for Drew, and he plays football, and he's gone up to basketball here tonight. A nice center. Yeah, and he's a key tonight for sure because he's 6'6", he's inside player, and they're going to need everything they can get on the defensive end from him. But, you know, we saw a game from a football player last night. Kevon Freeman from Savannah almost single-handed brought that team back in the second half. So we know some football players that can play a little ball. All right, and we take a look on the other side, and a guy by the name of Taj Shamshin Dean for the Columbia Eagles, and he's getting it done in a big way. A guard, loves to handle, loves to get things started right now. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Taj. I've heard a lot of great things about him. They say he's not that flashy. You don't need to be flashy if you get the job done. He's averaging almost 10 assists a game. He's had 15 games where he's had 10 or more assists. So he's a guy that delivers it to those big guys for Columbia. All right, let's bring in the third member of our crew. She's been a very active lady here tonight down in Macon. We say good evening for a final time to our Nikki Noto. Nikki?
Good evening, Gil. This is it. I spoke to Coach McCurry earlier, and we talked social media. You know, the whole Twitter thing. Coach, his players, and the rest of Eagle Nation, they have been tweeting the whole way to Macon. They said that they left their trophy back at the Centerplex, and they're coming tonight to get it. And Coach also told me that part of the Columbia routine is that they don't stay in a hotel. He said the last time they stayed at a hotel, they lost. So, you know, they're not doing that anymore. And after watching the girls win their title, you know the boys have to bring one home. Coach told me that they're doing it for Eagles Nation, and they better rock it. The fans are watching.
There you go, Nikki Noto, and that would be the second time in history, second time in 30 years that they've been able to accomplish that. Tip-off between DeKalb County and Clayton County for the 3A state championship in the great state of Georgia, straight ahead here on GPB.
Broadcast of this program is made possible in part by the following.
As a strong, stable bank, we're always looking for opportunities to boost the vitality of our communities by supporting local events and finding financial solutions for our customers in all economic times. Regions is proud to be a partner with Georgia Public Broadcasting in building a better Georgia.
As leaders in our communities, Georgia's locally owned and operated electric membership corporations are proud to sponsor the Georgia High School Association and to help our student athletes become the leaders of tomorrow. Georgia's electric membership corporations, lighting the way.
The Atlanta Dream, Atlanta's back-to-back Eastern Conference champions and Atlanta Sports Council's Team of the Year, is back at Phillips Arena on May 25th with 2012 Olympic hopefuls Angel McCoughtry and Lindsey Harding, and Brazilian Olympian Erica de Souza. It's the Dream's 5th anniversary season this summer at Phillips Arena. Ticket information at atlantadream.net or 877-977-7729. Run with the Dream.
And by the Mabel Reader Foundation.
Meet John. John has decided to drop out of school, but what he didn't realize is that now this door will be closed to him. And this one too. Well, you get the idea.
We're welcoming you back to the Centerplex in Macon Coliseum. And, of course, the starting lineups here tonight for the 3A state championship game, the Drew Titans and the Columbia Eagles. And, of course, we take a look at the starting lineups here tonight, Herb White. Let's take a look, brought to you by our good friends at Regions Bank. Let's take a look at Drew.
Well, Drew doesn't have a really big guy like 6'8" or 6'9", but they've got great overall size on their team. Everybody's 6'3" or taller, and they're very athletic, just the kind of team you need to go up against Columbia.
Keep an eye on Elisa, number 3, the 6'3" senior. And on the other side, the Eagles right now. You take a look at their lineup. Of course, we spotlighted early on Shamson Dean, but they have a whole lot more.
Yeah, all three of the big guys are going to go on and play some college ball somewhere. So Jamal Reed going to Oregon State. I believe Chris Horton's going to Southern, and I can't remember the other one, but all of them quality players. So it's going to be interesting to see if I was talking to Coach McCrary. He said they may try to run us. He said everybody does. I said nobody was very successful doing it. Columbia 30-1, of course, only lost one game all year, and that was to a tough team out of Charlotte. But you know, I think Drew's probably, I don't know for sure, but they're probably going to play some zone, try to pack it in, and see if they can't stop the ball going inside.
You got a shot of Coach McCrary, and on the other side, his counterpart, of course, Jared Davis, and what an outstanding job he's done in getting a startup program in Riverdale, and of course, their first opportunity in the Final Four. And we're going to tip it up and get things started here on the great GPB tonight. The tip is controlled by Columbia. And walking it up right now is Shamsuddin. Taj Shamsuddin over on the right side. And that is to Mason. A cutting and hanging up in the air on the follow. And still following up. Tip controlled by Columbia, and still there. And the ball's on the floor. And the presence of mind by Rufus Brown to throw it off a Columbia defender.
And there you see a perfect example of what Columbia tries to do. They get the ball into the paint, put it up on the glass, and got 4 shots at it and couldn't get it to go down. You block those guys out a little bit.
Rufus Brown across the timeline over to Corey Graves. You get a good look at Elisa. Here's the cut, and Brown, he shoots up an air ball and off the back of the iron, and controlled now by the Eagles of Columbia. Across the timeline, that's Nate Mason. Mason working out high and working against Rufus Brown. And the ball stolen away by Brown, and they move it ahead for Charles Drew, dressed in gold with a blue trim. It's a lot like Georgia Tech. And there's color scheme. That's Rufus Brown negotiating around and throws up a prayer, and it's not answered. And the rebound is controlled by Jamal Reed. And he loses it. And ahead of the pack for the lay-in will be Corey Graves. And just like that, Drew's out in front 2-0.
Drew draws first blood, and a little bit of a surprise as Columbia opens up in the zone, and Drew starts out in the man-to-man, but they're going to double down low just about every time, I bet you.
Shamson Dean to Chris Horton, back to Dean. Horton tries to set a pick. Dean drives, hangs in the air, no good. Ball fought for on the floor. Defender's going after it, and it's controlled by Drew. We're going the other way. Garcia with the rebound, and he gives it out to Corey Graves. Shoots up a 3. No, the rebound controlled by Rufus Brown. On the floor and knocked out of bounds, and Charles Drew regains possession. 2-0. Drew over Columbia early on here at Macon. Gil Tyree and Herb White, glad to have you with us. Our final game of championship weekend here in the great GPB. Spotting up for a jumper is Derek Fry. No good, the ball out of bounds, but kicked off a Columbia defender. So it will be retained by Charles Drew. As you take a look at the head coach of Charles Drew, Jared Davis, and what an outstanding job his counterpart along the way, Philip McCrary for Columbia. The inbounds pass is taken by Graves over on the right side, and spotting up for a 3-ball, and no good, was Elisa. The ball controlled by Columbia. Columbia right now 0 for 4 in field goal opportunities. On the wing right now is Reed. They try to get it in to Justin Thomas, and it's stolen. That's Rufus Brown. And he lost the basketball, and it goes out of bounds off a Columbia defender, Herb White.
Well, both teams getting quality looks. Columbia's had 4 good looks, couldn't get it to go down. Several putbacks wouldn't go down, and Drew's had good looks also and can't get them to go down. So figure they're going to start knocking them down as soon as some of the early championship jitters wear off.
Corey Graves will trigger in the inbounds to Derek Fry out top. Goes on the left side right now, and they dump it down low, and a spot-up jumper by Garcia, no good. Ball fought for and controlled, and the person of Chris Horton got away with an elbow, and goes on to Dean, and ahead to a cutting and a circus shot, and one and count it.
While he's falling to the ground.
King Eric Crouch.
Oh, boy, he got away with one there.
We pointed it out.
Flagrant.
Yes, we pointed it out.
Wow.
And you're going to see the circus shot right there. And getting into the go. There's Kiar Crouch, and he has an opportunity to complete a three-point play. And he does. And Columbia takes a 3-2 lead. We're early on. Here in Macon. On the wing. And has the ball stolen away was Elisa. And on the bust out, it's Columbia. The ball goes out of bounds. They had a head. Justin Thomas was ahead of everybody, but could not hold the basketball. Hold on to it. It went out of bounds. And we're trying to figure out whose it's all for, boy.
I couldn't see. The monitor was in my way. You should see. You caught that elbow. You're catching everything, Gil. I tell you, that's a nasty elbow. I'm surprised the officials missed that one.
Nate Mason will trigger in the inbounds and get it into the backcourt. Not a violation to Sam Sid Dean. 4:40 here in the opening quarter. Gil Tyree and Herb White. Glad to have you with us here on GPB. The turnover. And Drew on the bust out. Straight ahead and pushed to the ground was Rufus Brown. And on the foul was Nate Mason.
Well, Brown took it all the way. He was going 1-on-2, but he managed to get bailed out by the foul. And they're not going to let you score, and that's what you do. That's a good foul. You don't let the man score if you're going to foul him on the layup.
First opportunity by Rufus Brown is good. Knotted up at 3, a low-scoring first quarter. And you see the amount of time, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Here at Macon for the AAA 3A state championship in the great state of Georgia. Got a shot of both coaches, McCrary and now Davis.
Well, as I mentioned, Gil, we haven't had a bad shot in the ball game yet. They just haven't knocked them down. But I imagine if they keep getting those looks, the pace of the scoring is going to pick up.
Our officiating crew here tonight, Art Williams, Patrick Graham, and Tim McLean. 4:26 in the opening quarter. That's Sam Sigdean going out top right now. And the ball stolen away, and another Columbia turnover. And fouled right there was Elisa. Oloko Elisa was fouled.
Well, Columbia the coaching staff can't be happy with the turnovers. They're not forced turnovers. They're just making bad passes.
Miles Woodbury in now, and Nate Mason leaves. The foul was on Thomas, his first on the night. 4:09 in the opening quarter. That is Rufus Brown across the timeline. And being harassed right there by Crouch. Driving the lane and throwing up a teardrop to go was Elisa. 6'3" Drew over Columbia in the first quarter. Right back is Shamsik Dean. And giving over on the right side, and for the pull-up is Jamal Reed. No go, and a scramble, and 2 players going for the rebound, and you saw it right there, Thomas, and also a Drew defender. So we're early on with the score. Drew out in front of Columbia, 6-3, 3:41 in the first. We'll be right back here on GPB.
Basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
Through its many programs, the Georgia High School Association is training tomorrow's leaders. At Georgia Farm Bureau, we also promote leadership development programs. Farm Bureau serves its members through a host of services, from insurance to health care to popular discount programs, delivered through your local Farm Bureau office.
Farm Bureau, benefiting your community and state. Helping you is what we do best.
You see the score, Drew, out in front of Columbia early on here in the first quarter. GPB Sports launches another great season of high school football with the Metro BCS Corky Kell Classic. August 25th, live from the Georgia Dome, the Classic in its 21st year will be bigger and better than ever. And the game has added 10 teams, will be televised in HD, high definition, across the great state of Georgia on GPB beginning at 9 a.m. 5A state champion Grace and the Rams, their star defensive lineman Robert Kimdichi, and South Georgia powerhouses Camden County and Colquitt County, so get ready. Football junkies, and tune in to GPB August 25th for more than 14 hours of great high school football. 6-3, Drew out in front of Columbia, 3:31 in the opening quarter. Off the cut was Corey Gaines, and he lost it, but he got it back and then turned it around and turned it away again. And Olisa tracking it down, but it goes out of bounds. So the ball will go back over to the Columbia Eagles.
Got to be impressed with Drew's defense so far, Gil. They're overplaying the passes into the paint and really making Columbia work, and they're putting a lot of pressure on Shamsid Dean.
Right, and you just got a shot of Coach Jared Davis of Charles Drew, and he said that was one of the keys here tonight. Spotting up for a jump shot, and no good, was Dean, and the rebound taken down by Charles Drew. Fighting for the basketball, but stolen away, and we go the other way with Jamal Reed. Jamal Reed, the bounce pass, down low, the dunk by Thomas, and one. Wow.
That was a statement. No sense in fouling on that one because you weren't going to. Let's see it again.
He just cold-cocked it.
And you don't run by and hit a guy on the hip after his dunk. That's just adding insult to injury.
And it was a flagrant.
Oh, that's
like you said, you saw that.
That's a momentum changer. Drew was playing really well, and then you give up a dunk, maybe a three-point play, and Columbia will get the ball back.
Justin Thomas only opportunity to complete a three-point play. And he doesn't, but because of the flagrant, Columbia will retain possession right now.
A minute ago, I wanted to point out that when that shot went up that Columbia missed the possession before, Drew did an unbelievably good job of blocking out. They blocked out, and the Columbia could not even get one guy in the lane for the offensive rebound, and that's what Drew's going to have to continue to do.
You get a look at Philip McCrary, who's done an outstanding job at Columbia, and just a well-respected man, not only in the great state of Georgia, but also nationally.
Well, he's had some great players come out of Columbia. We're going to talk about one in a couple minutes when we have a little pause.
Quad Tyler in for Drew, and off the bust out, off the steal in the dunk is Derek Fry. And just like that, we're back and forth, and Drew out by 2. 8-6, 2:36 in the opening quarter.
I've got Drew down for about 6 or 8 points off of turnovers, and there's a stupid foul as well. You can't say anything else. That's just dumb. Okay. Again, the anticipation, making every pass tough, and the flush. And then the dumb foul by Columbia down at the other end, and I'm surprised I didn't call a flagrant on that.
Charles Drew on the inbounds, and with the basketball is Olisa. He's guarded by Shamsid Dean. That's a pull-up by Olisa, no good. Off the iron, and the rebound controlled by Columbia. And speeding up play is Dean. Over on the right side now is Damian Goodwin, and he drives the lane and is hacked.
Got to be impressed. All of Columbia's big men can put that ball on the floor for 2 or 3 power dribbles and take it up strong. That's why you overplay those passes so they don't get it in there.
So Damian Goodwin will go to the line, and when we talked to Coach Davis about the keys, he said that one of the keys is prayer, prayer, and more prayer. And he talked about spacing. Tell our viewers
well, he's talking about
what he's talking about. You get a look at Coach Davis, Jared Davis, and then he said we got to meet the physical challenge of playing Columbia here tonight. But back to spacing.
Well, he's got to get his offensive players spaced out on the offensive end of the floor. Columbia, with those long arms and bodies, you really got to make sure you got your people where they need to be, or they can really clamp down on you. And look at that. That's the good spacing right there.
And with the rebound is Goodwin. We go the other way. The missed opportunity by Quad Tyler for Charles Dean. We see Dean Giving now in the cut, and the pump and the shot was blocked. That was Kiar Crouch who had his shot blocked. And we go the other way with Drew. Back out now is Rufus Brown. Down low on the baseline and pulling up for the jumper and knocking it down is Elisa. 10-7.
Excellent pass. He made one pass. His player couldn't handle it. He makes the second one. It's a great pass for the assist. Didn't see that one. Another phantom foul. Evidently, there's some shots going back and forth off the ball.
Quad Tyler on the foul. That'll be his second. And Columbia still with the basketball. Dean gives it to Anthony, who roams baseline. Correct that, DeAndre Jackson.
They're going to get the blocking foul. Didn't quite get the feet down on the baseline drive.
So Mason will trigger the inbounds, and you see the baseball pass, and going to the backcourt to retrieve it is Sham Sid Dean. Taj Sham Sid Dean. That is Dean pulling up for the jumper, in and out. And we have a foul and a push-off. And a push-off will be against Rufus Brown. Both he and Goodwin battled for that basketball.
Well, the officials, you can tell, they're calling this one close, and they are getting a little chippy. Guys are starting to bump and hit, and the officials decided they're going to keep control of this game, and they're going to call it a little tight for a few minutes, and I think it's a good idea. Players will adjust.
Lafi Lupo in the basketball game for Drew. Now you see the cross court and the ball stolen away by Columbia. We're going the other way. And negotiating the baseline is Goodwin, and he gets rejected by Brown coming over from the weak side.
Well, you're never going to see that cross-court pass with that kind of arc on it be completed except to the other team. And I tell you what, everybody's getting their money's worth on the fouls going to the basket here this evening.
No question about it. 10-7 basketball game. Drew out in front, a three-point lead. Tyler on the foul. That's his third.
Yes.
Wow. Goodwin connects on the first one. It's a 10-8 count now. 42 seconds in the opening quarter here in Macon. Goodwin again, another opportunity. Up and in. It's a 10-9 game.
Well, Drew's a pretty deep team. They play a lot of folks, so just one guy in foul trouble is not going to hurt them that bad.
Graves out.
A little three-quarter court pressure here.
Right. Quad Tyler in. Token pressure, I may add. They're able to beat it and get it across the timeline. A dangerous cross-court pass and knocked out of bounds, but knocked off. Rufus Brown, great position to telegraph it, was Goodwin. So Columbia will have possession, and they will inbound it right in front of us here at the scorer's table. Coming across the timeline right now is Jackson over to Shamsuddin, who's working and trying to lay it up and in, and no good, and the rebound controlled by Drew. The outlet to Fry. Fry goes baseline and drives, and we get him on a push-off.
Fry tried to force the action then a little too much. He was going 1-on-2, and Columbia saw it coming. Here you see it. Probably should have pulled this one back out.
That's his second, the team's seventh. The hurry up by Columbia, baseline, and rejected. Goodwin went high and tried to take Elisa with him in the goal, but Elisa was there and met him at the summit, so Goodwin will go to the line.
Shamsuddin, let's see it here. Shamsuddin starting to get, well, that wasn't Dean, but the guard's starting to get in for Columbia and penetrate a little bit. And if they can do that, draw those guys to help, they can pass it off to the big guys to try to finish.
That was DeAndre Jackson.
Yep.
And you see Goodwin on the baseline. Great camera work for our guys down here in Macon. And what an outstanding job they've done, not only here, but also in Duluth last night. And the shot by Rufus Brown will not go. Herb White early on. What do you think?
Well, Columbia doing a good job knocking down their free throws. That's where they're staying in this ball game right now. So, but Drew has come out and made a statement. They're staying with them early on.
Columbia up by 1. We'll be right back after these important messages on the great GPB.
Broadcast of this program is made possible in part by the following.
The Atlanta Dream, Atlanta's back-to-back Eastern Conference champions and Atlanta Sports Council's Team of the Year, is back at Phillips Arena on May 25th with 2012 Olympic hopefuls Angel McCoughtry and Lindsey Harding and Brazilian Olympian Erica de Souza. It's the Dream's 5th anniversary season this summer at Phillips Arena. Ticket information at atlantadream.net or 877-977-7729. Run with the Dream.
Regions Bank is proud to sponsor the Directors Cup, a year-long competition encompassing all girls and boys sports in every region and classification throughout Georgia. The winning schools are honored for their sustained and overall athletic achievement. Please join us in celebrating this year's Regions Directors Cup winners, because at Regions Bank, we believe in working together to build better communities.
Competing, learning, achieving. Sportsmanship builds character on the field and off. As leaders in our communities, Georgia's locally owned and operated electric membership corporations are proud to sponsor the Georgia High School Association and to help our student athletes become the leaders of tomorrow. Georgia's electric membership corporations, lighting the way.
Are you buying a new car? If you are being enticed by all the new car models, then let us entice you to donate your old vehicle to GPB. 1-877-472-1227. You're watching GPB, television worth sharing.
Start of the second quarter here in Macon, and the Columbia Eagles with a 1-point lead over the Titans of Drew. Georgia Tech Whiz Kids have teamed up to compete for cash at a U.S. patent with the 2012 Inventure Prize at Georgia Tech. Tune in to GPB Tuesday, March 13th, prime time at 7 o'clock to see 6 finalists demonstrate and defend their innovations in front of a panel of expert judges to see who will be this year's champion. Wowzers! It's something you can't miss only on the great GPB, and I know Herb White won't miss it. Employing his own right now is Charles Drew. And having a trouble recognize it as they work the ball around the horn are the Eagles of Columbia, and Goodwin forces a turnover, stepped on the baseline. So just like that, some nice adjustments by Coach Davis.
Well, he closed out the half, last 2 or 3 minutes with man-to-man and came right back with his own. You're right. Gave him a little different look and confused Columbia for that first possession.
Laffy Lupi goes over to Elisa. Nice pass over to a spot-up jumper, Rufus Brown. 12-11, Drew over Columbia. 7:23 in the second quarter. Across the timeline is Sham Sid-Dean. Fumbles it out in front, but gets it over on the right side to Nate Mason. Back to Dean. Back to Mason, 2-man game. Spots up for a 3. No good. Tap up by Goodwin, no good. And Drew with the rebound, we go the other way. That's Elisa. In traffic, behind the back, circus.
Oh, my goodness! Oh! That may be the worst ill-advised shot I've seen all weekend, and he knocked it down.
And just like that, right back is Sham Sid-Dean, up and down, 14-13.
Now you got to get 3 just for degree of difficulty on that one.
No question about it. A circus shot. And as soon as we can get that racked, our guys are going to show it to you again.
Well, he's going to be dining out for the rest of his life on that one.
Antonio Garcia struggling, pulls up on the jumper, no good. The rebound taken down by Dean. We're going the other way. Across the timeline, up ahead to Dean from Jackson, and a spot-up 3-ball in the corner. And that's Nate Mason. 16-14 Columbia. Across the timeline is Elisa. High lob into Garcia. Former football player takes his jump shot, no good. free throw line extended. Ball controlled by Shamsuddin. And driving the middle and missing the teardrop was Nate Mason. And Garcia and Mason fought for the rebound. And we have a whistle.
Let's see this one again. We may have to see this one twice. This is, I couldn't believe he took this shot 1-on-3, but the 360. Never saw the hoop.
Right. You know, I'm going to tell our guys right now, they may want to send that to ESPN.
Let's take another look at it.
That's a top tenner.
Well, that looks tough every angle you look at it. You got to have a lot of imagination to come up with that one.
No question about it.
And a lot of guts.
What a circus shot, but it's good to go. 16-14. Columbia out in front of Drew. And getting his shot rejected was Derek Fry. And the Eagles with the basketball, they push it in full throttle. Mason, the errant pass, and that's going to go away, and the turnover is controlled now by Drew. On the wing is Fry. Out top and going over to Alisa, was knocked out of bounds.
Chris Horton is an excellent shot blocker. Boy, he's got great timing, and I don't know what his wingspan is, but it's pretty awesome even at 6'8". You can see him over there beside Coach McCreary. I mean, he looks like Davis from Kentucky with those arms.
Walking across the timeline is Shamsuddin, moving it over right now. Playing up against, that's Brandon Clyde. The high lob, and working and getting inside was Jamal Reed. 18-14. The Eagle lead now at 4. Walking it across the timeline is Graves, and he goes over on the right side, and still with the basketball is Clyde. Brandon Clyde goes out top to Lupo. Lafi Lupo is going to spot up and take a jumper. No good. Shamsuddin with the rebound, going the other way, drives and hangs it up off the glass, and the follow-up by Goodwin is good on the trail. 20-14 Columbia, and just like that, Jarrett Davis has seen enough. A run for the Eagles right now, and they don't want this thing to get out of hand. But you saw the ability of the Eagles in transition, Herb White.
Here you go, Shamsuddin.
3 defenders.
Yeah, and that's great hustle. 3 defenders went with the shooter. Somebody's got to stay back in the paint. Everybody trying to block the shot, left it wide open. And Coach Davis, a good time out there, felt it slipping away. A couple of not exactly the best shots by Drew. And I tell you what, you've got to take quality shots against this Columbia team, Gil, because they're only going to give you one look at it. Very rarely do you get an offensive rebound against this crew.
Lafi Lupo will trigger the inbounds for Charles Drew, and he'll get it into Brandon Clyde, and they're working in the backcourt right now for Jarrett Davis. Also in there is Corey Graves, Garcia, and on the wing is Derek Fry. The aforementioned Corey Graves over to Fry, who tries to drive baseline, and we have stoppage in play.
And he was held. Let's see who they got it on. Maybe Jamal Reed.
That's Chris Horton, his first. So Graves will trigger the inbounds. Sends it back. And just running a tightrope on that 10-second line and being able to hold it in was Brandon Clyde. And the follow-up by Clyde, who's able to get in between the trees. 20 now to 18, or should I say 16, I'm sorry, 20-16. Drew now down by 4.
Columbia in that zone defense, that's making it tough on Drew. They've got those long arms and tall guys, and they make it tough on you. So I like the zone by Coach McCreary.
We're going to take a break with the score 20-16 Columbia over Drew. The 3A state championship game live here from Macon. Gil Tyree, Herb White. We'll be right back after this on GPB.
Basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
We strongly believe in training the leaders of tomorrow. That's why we're proud to be part of Georgia High School Association program. Farm Bureau is a nonprofit organization serving our state for nearly 75 years. While we focus on farmers in rural Georgia, our benefits are available to all, from insurance to health programs to popular discount programs.
Georgia Farm Bureau, helping you is what we do best.
GPB is the only station to broadcast the state high school basketball championship games year after year. Now it's your turn to score big with a small donation to GPB. Text GPB at 85944 and donate $10. Remember to reply yes to confirm your donation. Standard data rates and text message rates apply. A one-time charge of $10 will be added to your phone bill. We need you to support these great games and these wonderful kids, not only in Duluth, but also here in Macon, and we say thank you.
Rebound total so far, Columbia, as you would expect, up 13-7, but I actually think Drew's been doing a pretty good job on their defensive board down there and not giving Columbia a whole lot of second shots since early in that first quarter, and but they're not going to get many offensive rebounds on their end.
In for Columbia right now is Kiar Crouch, Horton, Jamal Reed, who's at the line, Shamsuddin, and Goodwin.
Jamal Reed going to be an Oregon State Beaver. Going out to the West Coast, took a vacation out there this September. Boy, that is a beautiful state.
Right. In Corvallis, and we'll play for Craig Robinson, who is the brother-in-law of our president, Barack Obama.
All right, you're right. I remember that.
Jamal Reed made both of those free throws. It's a 22-16 count now. The Eagles out in front by 6. That is Lupo trying to get in the middle, but the ball is stolen away, and we move again. And in traffic and in transition, and following his shot, and to no avail, is Kiar Crouch, and the ball goes out of bounds, but the Eagles of Columbia will regain possession.
Well, Drew dodged another bullet. 3 attempts at the basket and couldn't get it to go down, and Columbia just relentless going up on the glass.
3:27 until halftime. Down low was Reed. And he went up and he was called for traveling. So the turnover will go over to Charles Drew. 22-16. Rufus Brown driving, double team, in trouble, and he turns it over and going the other way and pushing it. And great transition basketball by Columbia. Spotting up for the 3-ball and knocking it down is Shamsuddin.
Well, Brown went down to the corner, picked up his dribble, and you're dead when you do that, especially against a team well drilled like Columbia with those tall guys.
25-16, a 9-point lead. You see transition, the great save, and the spot up 3 by Dean right there. Nice camera work by our guys. Yet another Drew turnover. And that's Reed. Straight to the hole and dumps it off for Goodwin. He had on the wing, but it goes out of bounds. So it will be Reed getting it in with 2:41 in the second quarter until halftime. A 14-2 Columbia run right now.
Got a score here.
And Drew with numbers and the flush. That's Rufus Brown.
Rufus Brown with some elevation at about 6'3", can finish.
25-18, 2:28 in the second quarter. The lead right now for Columbia is 7. Walking in across the timeline is Dean. Taj Shamsuddin working right there against Lupo. Spinning around and still with the basketball and being harassed. Gets it over to Reed, stolen away by Lupo. He has numbers, and he has a player on the wing, and that player and connecting is Derek Fry. 25-20. Right back the other way is Columbia. Driving the lane is Shamsik Dean off the glass, and no, but a whistle. Herb White take us through back and forth, to and fro.
Well, a little too much dribbling and trying to force things there by Columbia. And 2 excellent fast breaks. This one and the one before were textbook. And just when you thought Columbia was going to try to pull away, Drew comes up with a couple of turnovers and converts them to get back in this ball game.
Taj Shamsuddin at the line. His first attempt at the charity stripe is good. 26-20, the lead for the Eagles now at 6. And of course, the Columbia Eagles representing Region 5. And the Charles Drew Titans from Riverdale. And Clayton County representing Region 4. So a battle of DeKalb County against Clayton County here tonight. Dean, the second opportunity, up and in. It's now a 7-point lead. Columbia over Drew.
I've got Columbia at about 11 or 12 for 14 on the free throw line. They've been knocking them down pretty regularly.
That's Graves to Brown. Over the right side, that's Elisa. Elisa driving past Goodwin, gets in traffic, but almost lost it. And regained by Drew. Spot up 3 ball by Graves is no good. The rebound controlled by Goodwin of Columbia. He pushes it up the floor, across the timeline. Drives, hangs in the air. Goes over on the right side to number 22, Kiar Crouch, who gives it out to Shamsik Dean. Shamsik Dean in traffic to Crouch. Pull up, teardrop, no good. Goodwin with the rebound, up and in. Nice work on the glass by Goodwin, Damian Goodwin. 29-20. Columbia out in front. They try to trap the ball, but Drew able to get away from it. That's Elisa. Working against Goodwin. He gave it to Garcia, who struggled with it. And he gets it back out to Elisa. Ball stolen away and ahead Horton. And he got really nailed. And we have 2 players on the floor. One in front of us. That is Elisa.
Well, let's take a look. Yeah, Elisa came down. He got his feet knocked out from under him. Came down, hit his head on the floor and his chest. Probably got the wind knocked out of him. And yeah, I just have to be so impressed with Columbia's defense. I'm going to tell you, they really get after you and just play under control. And you throw one bad pass, and you can guarantee you they're taking it the other way.
Gordon at the line to make this lead to get it to double figures at 10. He misses the first opportunity. He'll try again. Under a minute to go until halftime. And, of course, Mark Harmon and Jackie Britton standing by. And what an outstanding job they've done the past 2 days. They've just been back and forth and doing those celebrations and trophy presentations, and then giving you the best of high school basketball here in the great state of Georgia.
They still look good after 2 days. I don't know how they do it.
Chris Horton made the second free throw. It's now a 10-point lead by Columbia. And Charles Drew is going to have some work to do. Going across the timeline is Brown. And he gave it off, and the ball was stolen. And we go the other way, and Brown getting with the reject, but up and in, and scoring right there is number 22, Kiar Crouch. Columbia's lead now at 12 at 32-20. A baseline 3-pointer, no good. Tap up, no good. And a rebound on the floor and knocked out of bounds.
Well, it's a very dangerous time in the game now for Drew. Of course, we're right at halftime,
but these runs. You know, you have these runs before the end of a quarter and before the end of a half, and sometimes very demoralizing to a basketball team. And Coach Davis is going to have a whole lot of work to do as he's going to try to make adjustments. They're down right now, 12. And he was worried about that. In the half-court set, Columbia struggles. And the turnover. And Drew with numbers and driving to the lane and driving through traffic was Derek Fry.
Good job by Fry taking it strong to the hoop, and these are two big free throws if he can cut this down to 10 before halftime, get the last 2 of the half.
All right, Herb White, let's take you in the locker room on both sides. What do you say?
Well, Coach Davis has got to tell his guys, you know, he did a pretty good job for most of that half blocking out, but you got to block out on every play because Columbia is just killing you on the offensive boards when you don't block out. And try not to foul as much. Columbia shot quite a few free throws here in the first half, and they're knocking them down.
Columbia was 12 of 15. Drew now 4 of 4 with those 2. made free throws, and that's we come to the end of the first half with the score Columbia 32 and Drew 22, a 10-point lead enjoyed by Columbia right in front. And as soon as we get our Nicky Noto and trying to get Coach McCreary to come over. Let's go over to Nicky Noto right now. Nicky.
Guys, I actually have a special guest for you right now. I got tossed to me an assistant coach, and lucky for you guys, he's in charge of their Twitter this evening and throughout the tournament. So what do you want to tell your followers? What needs to happen to Eagles Nation second half?
We just got to start playing better on defense. We're not playing good on defense at all, and then we're not playing together. We got this far playing together, and then all of a sudden we stopped playing together. We got to get that back.
And you told me before the game they're athletic, they're fast. How are you going to stop them?
Stay in front of them. I mean, I think we're doing okay, but we can do much better. We play, like I said, we played tougher, but we're just not doing it together right now.
All right, go join your team, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Mark, last halftime show.
Nikki, you are so right. It's our final halftime show here on Championship Weekend, live on GPB. Coming at the halftime break, we will talk to both principals. We'll find out what fans are chatting about on the World Wide Web, and we'll have first half highlights and statistics. That's all coming up next. Columbia leading Drew at the half, 32-22. This is Championship Weekend halftime show coming up next after this timeout.
GPB's broadcast of high school championship basketball is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More
to come.
More Wilson.
The basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
Through its many programs, the Georgia High School Association is training tomorrow's leaders. At Georgia Farm Bureau, we also promote leadership development programs. Farm Bureau serves its members through a host of services, from insurance to health care to popular discount programs, delivered through your local Farm Bureau office.
Farm Bureau, benefiting your community and state. Helping you is what we do best.
PBS celebrates the legends of classic country.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
I'm gonna make my brown eyes blue.
Please help me, I'm falling.
Monday at 7:30 on GPB.
We are Team Continuum.
Team 6.
Team Thrombosis.
Team Heartthrob.
We're going to win the Adventure Prize because we believe everybody needs it. Our product saves lives.
Rock legend Ronnie Spector and John Bowser Bauman bring your favorite rock, pop, and doo-wop memories back to the stage in an all-new My Music PBS special.
Tuesday at 8:30 on GPB.
PBS celebrates the legends of classic country.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
I'm gonna make my brown eyes blue.
Please help me, I'm falling.
All of the chapel bells were ringing.
I'm so lonesome I could cry.
Monday at 7:30 on GPB.
When you wish upon a star, Make no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come.
Class 2A state championship. Where are you going?
I'm going back to high school.
Your dreams come true.
You're watching GPB, television worth sharing.
We are live at the Macon Coliseum. We are at halftime of the boys' AAA state championship game. Alongside now the principal of Drew High School, Gary Townsend. And Gary, your school is pretty brand new, 3rd year, and here you are in the state championship game. That's quite an accomplishment.
Yes, sir. Brand new, 3rd year, 2nd year varsity sports. Very proud of these young men.
Now, you put the school on the map. You've been there all 3 years. You started up this school.
We started up the school 3 years ago. This time, 3 years ago, the school was just girders. It was no ceilings, anything like that. And I looked, I said, there's no way this beautiful building is going to be complete by August. And August, we walked in, and I was very, very proud of what was constructed.
What kind of vibe has it been at school this week? Because, you know, everybody has to be pumped up about making the Final Four.
Oh, they're very excited. Our wonderful fans behind us traveled down. The kids are excited. A lot of school spirit within the building.
What are some of the programs that you have going on in a new school like Drew?
Well, we are heavy in the CTAE departments. We have an outstanding culinary arts program. We have a wonderful biotech program. And then those are a couple of the standout programs that we have inside our building.
It's got to be kind of fun to be a part of something brand new to help put a school on the map, so to speak.
It's a wonderful experience, an unbelievable experience for us, and an unbelievable experience for Clayton County. We're really moving in the right direction. I'm very proud to be there.
You know, one of our missions here at GPB is a stay in school program, and it's very important for these kids to stay in school and get their degree.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And this is just the first hurdle. This is their very beginning, and we're really pushing our kids to make sure they understand that this is just the first step of many.
Time now to ask you one of our special questions, not on the Georgia graduation test, but one that we made up ourselves. It's Know Your Spanish Explorer. So take a look at this character. He was known with an association with the Fountain of Youth. He led the first European expedition to Florida. He became the first governor of Puerto Rico. Maybe we'll see him. We hope we see him. He's a cool looking guy. He's a Spanish explorer. Who do you think that guy is with the funny hat?
I was just in a class, and I was doing observation, and I saw that. I'm going to go with Ponce de Leon.
You are absolutely correct. That's Ponce de Leon, our Spanish explorer, and you know your Spanish explorers. That's great.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and good luck with your school. It's great to be a part of it. All right. Now let's check over to Jackie Britton with another look at our social media. Jackie?
Thanks, Mark. As you know, we've been chatting all day long with viewers from all over the world, some in Hong Kong, some in California, some in Virginia. So don't forget to keep chatting with us. We are halfway through the last game, and we still want to hear your comments. We still want to know where you're watching from. So keep chatting with us at gpb.org/sports. Now we're going to get to the results of the poll question that we've been taking your votes on all day long. Our question to fans: is suspension for using a cell phone during a game too harsh of a punishment, or is it appropriate? As you can see, 75% of you think, yeah, that's a little harsh. Only 25% of you, though, say that it's appropriate. So that'll do it for social media right now at halftime. Mark, I'm going to give it back to you.
Thanks, Jackie, so much. Alongside now, we have the principal of Columbia High School, Uris Agee, and we talked to you earlier when the girls were playing, and what a great thrill to see them win their second time in the last 3 years.
I mean, it's just a wonderful thing. Kudos to Coach Frost and her staff. Kudos to the Lady Eagles. They worked so hard. That was, you know, actually this was the team they worked really hard for all year to prepare to win a championship for. I just want to take a chance, too, to also thank the faculty and staff at our school for working with the young ladies, the counselors, administrators. It takes a village, our community. So we're just so proud, and hopefully we can take home one more as well. I'm so excited, but just the hard work they put in, and the hard work all our athletes put in at the school. I mean, we definitely have student athletes first, but the kids do really well. We had over 22 football players sign scholarships. All our sports are we have a lot of students into sports and activities at Columbia High School, so we're just really proud of all the kids there. But Coach, this is a special night for Coach Frost. I know she really wanted this one really bad, so kudos to her.
Time to play the game now. We got to ask you your question, and it's feats of nature. Know your feats of nature. We'll talk about this mount. It's one of the highest peaks in one of the sub-region ranges of the Himalayas, known for one of the worst mountaineering accidents ever up there. What do you think that mount is called?
I'm gonna stick with A. I've been going with A so far. My second chance. I'm gonna stick with A. Kangaroo. Am I saying it right?
Kangaroo. You are absolutely correct. And happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck in the second half. We'll be back with more on our halftime show right after this timeout. Stay with us.
Broadcast of this program is made possible in part by the following.
The Mabel Reader Foundation.
As leaders in our communities, Georgia's locally owned and operated electric membership corporations are proud to sponsor the Georgia High School Association and to help our student athletes become the leaders of tomorrow. Georgia's electric membership corporations, lighting the way.
As a strong, stable bank, we're always looking for opportunities to boost the vitality of our communities by supporting local events and finding financial solutions for our customers in all economic times. Regions is proud to be a partner with Georgia Public Broadcasting in building a better Georgia.
Legend Ronnie Spector and John Bowser Bauman bring your favorite rock, pop, and doo-wop memories back to the stage in an all-new My Music PBS special.
Tuesday at 8:30 on GPB.
The basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
We strongly believe in training the leaders of tomorrow. That's why we're proud to be part of Georgia High School Association program. Farm Bureau is a nonprofit organization serving our state for nearly 75 years. While we focus on farmers in rural Georgia, our benefits are available to all, from insurance to health programs to popular discount programs.
Georgia Farm Bureau, helping you is what we do best.
We are live at the Macon Coliseum. It is championship weekend here on GPB. We have one more champion to decide, one more champion to crown, one more half to play. So for that, we send it to our play-by-play team of Gil Tyree and Herb White. Fellas?
Marky Mark, thank you. And, of course, a 32-22 lead Columbia enjoys right now over the Titans of Drew. Gil Tyree, along with Herb White. And, Herb, we're going to take you through the highlights right now and kind of take our audience exactly what exactly transpired in the first half to give Columbia this 10-point lead that they enjoy right now.
Let's take a look at Losa. Got a couple of highlights in the first half, and one of them might have been the highlight of the year. There was Brown from the sideline, and here it comes. Don't miss this one, folks. Michael Jordan would have been proud of that one. And look at the smile on the young man's face. And some big slams by Thomas and Horton of Columbia. And there's the offensive board work again.
Damian Goodwin also playing well, has 9, and there you see him and struggling in traffic and being able to get the stick back. Let's go over to the third member of our crew here tonight, Nikki Noto. Nikki, it's all yours.
Defensively speaking, Coach, you guys made some adjustments, had a little success with the zone, still down double digits. How critical are the first 3 minutes or the first 3 minutes of this the third quarter?
Well, the biggest thing we got to do, we got to become players of the game and not just being watchers, observers. I think is we went to a 3-minute span of just letting them run sets and we not responding right. We didn't get any movement on offense. So the thing is that we got to come out and play to our ability, what has got us success. So we got to move and cut, and we got to make sure that we able to hold them earlier. Our man gave them some problems, so hopefully we can come back to it the second half and keep them out of pain a little bit.
Good luck to you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Nikki and Coach Davis, Coach Jarrett Davis, we say thank you. We take a look at our halftime stats. What jumps out at her white?
Well, it's really even as far as field goal attempts and three-point field goals. Three-pointers are not really a factor in tonight's game. The big free throw disparity there, as we talked about in the first half, and of course the rebounding by Columbia, and that's the reason they got to the free throw line so much, is they got fouled on a lot of those stickbacks, and the turnovers equal. And quite a few of those turnovers were unforced that Drew trying to throw the cross-court passes, and they just have to make better decisions. You make a mistake against Columbia, and they're going to take it the other way and score on you.
And, of course, we talked about the free throw disparities. We saw it in our game 2, the 1A state championship game today that was won by Whitfield Academy over Athens Christian. You get to take a look at the coach, Philip McCrary. What's going through his mind right now?
Well, I think he's saying we got to keep doing what we're doing on the offensive end, and we let them get out on the fast break a few too many times. They turn the ball over on us. We got to do a better job of getting back defensively and make sure that we make passes and make good passes down on our end.
Shamsig Dean with the ball for Columbia. Out top to Goodwin. The entry pass right there to Reed. The turnaround by Justin Thomas, no good. Ball on the floor and fought for. And it was controlled by Derek Fry of Charles Drew. And Charles Drew will keep the basketball, and they will now try to push it forward. They trail by 10, 32-22, the start of the third quarter here in Macon. Our final championship of the night. Who's going to join Wesleyan? Whitfield Academy, Lovett, Laney, and the Columbia girls. We'll find out.
Another turnover on a forced pass, and Columbia's gone back man-to-man. You just got to do better decision-making than that.
Nate Mason brings it across the timeline, goes to Reed, stumbling and bumbling, and falls down in the lane, and is tripped. And that is Elisa, who's spotted on the foul, his second. Two players fall down. Elisa fell down, and also Mason hit the floor hard, and still with the basketball and controlling it on the offensive end is Columbia. The missed shot by Goodwin. Now we go the other way. That's Elisa. Great passing and a spot-up jumper by Graves in the corner, no good. The rebound controlled by Columbia as we go the other way, and that's Sam Siddine. Goes up top to Goodwin. Over the right side to Mason. Mason backs out, and we have a whistle.
I believe they got Reed trying to establish position down low. He pulled down Rufus Brown.
On the takedown, and it'll be foul on Reed, his second of the night. So the Titans of Drew still with the basketball now, and they regain it. Trapped in the corner, but gives to Garcia on the wheel around was Graves. Well, the rebound controlled by the Eagles. We go the other way, and Elisa right in on the foul of Reed.
Elisa's picked up two quick ones here to start the second half.
Frustration fouls right now, and that's his third.
Yeah, they need him in the ball game. He's a creator. He's got to be smarter than that in the backcourt. No need to foul there. You're not going to prove anything by diving in there and fouling a man in the backcourt.
Coming in is David White, and Elisa will go out.
Both teams have had good quality looks down in the low post here to start the half, and neither one of them has been able to get it to go down.
Mason triggers it into Dean across the timeline right now, being guarded by Graves. Dean, left-handed dribble, still on the sideline left. Trying to get his big man in position as Columbia tries to work their half-court set for head coach Philip McCrary. 32-22, 6:06 in the third quarter here at Macon. Our final championship on what has been an outstanding championship weekend here on GPB. Dean looking underneath. The intended pass for Goodwin is stolen. And we go the other way with Drew.
Great anticipation by Fry to pick that pass off.
That is Brown to David White, who drives baseline. And he misses the short jumper, the chippy. And with the rebound is Reed. Pushing it up the floor is Nate Mason. Over the left side to Dean. Dean working against Graves. Goes high lob, high top to Thomas. And driving in the air was Reed. He missed it. And we go the other way with Drew. And navigating his way through traffic is Brown. The intended for David White, and stolen in high fly act and in transition and counted and one was Justin Thomas.
Well, Rufus Brown, one mistake on the offensive end. I hate to harp on him. He went up in the air on the break, nowhere to go, and watch him there. He makes the turnover and then compounds his error. You just got to let the guy go ahead and dunk it. You can't foul him on that.
Goodwin with a great outlet pass. Thomas will have an opportunity to complete an and one. Yes.
That'll be a three-point play, and now you're down 13 after looking pretty good for the first 2-3 minutes.
And this is not what Coach Jared Davis wanted to occur. So Thomas is not able to complete a three-point play, but it's still a 12-point lead at 34-22. 5:09 here in the third quarter. The two-man game, and putting it up and in for Charles Drew is Derek Fry. Token pressure, but they back away. And clear sailing across the timeline right now is Shams Siddin working against Graves at the head of the horn. Goes on the right side to Mason. Back up top to Horton. And Goodwin tries to get inside, but the ball's stolen, and we go the other way. That Fry the outlet, and a great move, but a missed shot by Brown, and a rebound by Goodwin, and he's pushed to the floor.
Coach Davis says, how are we missing these layups? Brown had a good look, just couldn't get it to go down.
Opportunity after opportunity, and the frustration right there on the face of one Jared Davis, the head coach of Charles Drew. And for White, his first foul.
Well, they've backed off Shamsuddin, and I think it's a good idea. If you try to pick him up too high, he's going to go by you, and then he's got the opportunity to create, taking it into the lane.
Great dribble penetration. And Coach McCurry called a timeout, and he's really laying into his team right now, even though they're up by 10 at 34-24. 4:29 here in the third quarter.
Chris Horton trying to plead his case. Coach McCurry not one to hear it.
What has been an outstanding championship weekend. We started this thing yesterday up at Duluth at the arena at Gwinnett Center, and of course the Miller Grove girls got things started, and then the Miller Grove boys, and right after that McEachern, and the closing it out was the outstanding job done by Milton, and David Boyd told us that he did clear the 600 career mark. In fact, he's now 601. And Coach, I know you're listening, and I told her White what you told me after the game last night. You didn't want to draw attention to your team. And you got a big win over a pesky Savannah bunch.
You get 601 wins, you're going to get some attention sooner or later. And I want to speak about that former Columbia Eagle in just a moment when we have a pause in the game.
And of course today, Wesleyan and Whitfield Academy, Lovett and Laney and the Columbia girls, and now the Columbia guys trying to join the club. And up and in, but it goes.
Well, I thought they could have got a travel, but they got the bump beforehand. And one of my favorite Bulldogs from recent years, Georgia Bulldogs, was a Columbia Eagle. Called his championship games years ago was Jeremy Price, who's now playing in Scandinavia. He's got a young wife with him and a brand new baby over there in Scandinavia. And maybe Jeremy's tuned in on GPB Web and watching the streaming of this ball game. If he is, congratulations, Jeremy.
One of my favorite peeps.
Great guy.
And you and I were reminiscing about that great run under Coach Felton, the tornado year.
Oh, man. Oh, man, that was something.
Negotiating in and trying to get inside was Rufus Brown. That earlier foul was on David White for Charles Drew, and his second of the night. And shaken up was Garcia bending over, but he's okay. But let's take a break with the score. 37-24, Columbia over Drew, 3:51 in the third. We'll be right back, live from Macon here on GPB.
Basketball high school championships on GPB are made possible in part by the Georgia High School Association, which thanks Georgia Farm Bureau for their support.
Through its many programs, the Georgia High School Association is training tomorrow's leaders. At Georgia Farm Bureau, we also promote leadership development programs. Farm Bureau serves its members through a host of services, from insurance to health care to popular discount programs, delivered through your local Farm Bureau office.
Farm Bureau, benefiting your community and state. Helping you is what we do best.
Back here at Macon, the correct score right now, Columbia out in front, and you You saw that, Herb White. 37-24. Columbia out in front of Drew.
That would have been a pretty good run by Drew to get the 13-point difference in a few seconds. But well, they're going to have the ball when we come back in play here, and you know, Drew needs to get a bucket here, and if they can get this down to an 8 or under 10 would be the best thing they could look at, and get this game into the fourth quarter under 10, then it's anybody's ball game.
Take a look at the head coach, Jared Davis, and of course our Nicky Noto talked to him coming out at the end of the first half. Very concerned. Thomas right now, 8 points, 5 in the third quarter, and he's played big for Columbia. Triggering the inbounds right now is Corey Graves for Charles Drew.
Good look.
That's Graves with a 3 opportunity. Bounds and goes up and out of bounds, so the ball will change hands and go over to Columbia. But you know, you talked about it so many times during our championship coverage, our exclusive championship coverage here on GPB, Herb White, that it's so important for that first 5 minutes.
Yep.
And right now it doesn't look too good, but things have changed.
Well, it was 10 at halftime. Now it's 13, so it hasn't been too bad. But
Dean, the dump down to the aforementioned Justin Thomas on the jump hook, no good. The rebound controlled by White. Speeding it up the floor to Graves. Goes inside to Garcia, hanging up. And there's this foul, and the foul looks like it's going to be on Thomas. So Garcia will go on the line, and that is Thomas's second.
Good job by Fry there to back it out. It wasn't anything on the break. They backed it out and then looked back inside and got the big man down low, and he can't convert. Free throws are big. You got to try to close them out.
Get a good look at Antonio Garcia, who also plays football at Charles Drew.
There you go.
Up and in. He made the second opportunity. And substitutions coming in for Drew will be Laffy Lupo.
Probably the fewest three-point shots in a ball game we've had this weekend, Charles. They're not throwing up many. It's and they're not making many.
Derek Fry also enters the basketball game. That's Dean controlling it. Over on the left side is Mason. Out high is Horton. Over on the right side right now is Crouch. They go to Mason. He struggles with it, but he gets by a defender, drives the lane, pushes up with a one-handed little floater to go, and it's now 39-25, the biggest lead of the night. Out on the wing is Fry. He drives the baseline, hangs, and puts a reverse shot up, but no good when we have a whistle.
Let's watch the penetrating teardrop on the other end by Mason.
Float on. Remember that song, Herb White, by the Floaters?
No, I don't actually.
Float on, float on.
And here we go with the three-pointer. Drew is 0 for 3, and they've taken 2 of those in the last minute or so, and Columbia just 2 for 5 on three-pointers.
Derek Fry makes the first opportunity for Charles Drew, and you see his numbers: 9 points, 2 fouls.
You know, I wish I got that quick a service from my wife when I asked for something at home. You talk about what's the three-pointers, and boom, there it is.
There it is. But no, that also says a lot about you. You know, I mean, you know the game better than anybody.
Well, I've been sitting around the house because of these crutches, asking for a whole lot of stuff, and I know the wife is getting tired of getting it.
Columbia with the basketball. That's Mason, and they gave it to the big fella.
Yeah, carbon copy of the shot a moment ago.
41-26, 15-point lead, the biggest here of the night. Struggling in the half-court set is Drew. Lupo taking a 3, no good. Tap up, no good. The rebound controlled by Horton. The outlet to Nate Mason. We go the other way. A streaking Dean off glass, no offensive charge. And we go the other way, and running the middle right now is Elisa. And it rejected and blocked, coming over for help and getting the job done and knocking it out was Chris Horton. Look at this.
Probably needed one more dribble there to get up closer to the basket. Had to throw it, and Horton was ready for him.
And you see the length right there of Horton. A 3 opportunity, no good by Lupo, and the ball's out of bounds. And it's going to go to Columbia.
Coach Davis wants a timeout.
He's going to need a timeout with the lead at 15 right now, and Drew one of their last 13 field goal opportunities, and that ain't good.
No, that will not
That is not good at all. We're going to hold it right here with 1:49 to go in the third quarter.
Well, Drew, early on, especially in the first half, was getting some good looks at the basket, but Columbia's really settled in with their defense, and they're double teaming a lot. The ball goes to the side or the corner. You got two big guys with the long arms making that pass out of there tough, and they're just not giving up any good looks at the basket for the last quarter and a half.
So many storylines here on championship weekend. You look at what Phyllis Arthur was able to do at McEachern, undefeated season, #2 in the country. 4th straight championship for the Miller Grove boys. First championship for Laney of Augusta coming over here, correct, Herb White?
That's it.
And should the Columbia girls and boys get championships, they will be the 2nd time in 3 years. So a lot of storylines in championship weekend. The jumper to no avail by David White. And Columbia the other way, and Mason is pushed, and he falls down.
Well, and hello to all my friends in Augusta. I coached at Augusta College for a while down there, coached basketball down there with those folks, Marvin Vanover
and loved.
And Roscoe Williams, an old Laney, great player from Laney, and was dean of men at Augusta College when I was there, and a great guy.
Ahead of everybody for the lay-in was Kiera Crouch. It's now 43-26, 17-point lead, the biggest lead of the night. Over on the right side is Lupo. He drives, hangs, and kisses it off glass, but it won't go. He was fouled before he went.
And you know who else is going to be ecstatic about Laney winning? Who? From Georgia Public Broadcasting, Mr. Mel Jones, who played football at Laney High School, believe it or not.
Shout out to Mel. All a part of the great GPB family. And, of course, we can't thank Taya Ryan and Bob Rienza and I.J. Rosenberg enough for what they've done in the commitment, and Herb White as well, and everybody who's responsible for high school sports here in the great state of Georgia.
Oh, I know some people have thought I should be committed lately, but they're holding off for just a little while longer.
That's his 2nd foul on Horton, a 3rd foul, corrected.
And a chance to get some points for the first time in a while for Drew from the free throw line.
And that is Brandon Clyde on the line. 43-27. Just 1:15 to go in the 3rd quarter and 1 more quarter to go. And would it appear now that Columbia closing in on yet another 3A state championship game and a championship to go back to DeKalb County.
Well, opportunity for Drew right here to get another bucket. So cut down this lead just a little more.
Lisa will trigger the inbounds underneath his basket and defended there by Horton. Gets it in, and spotting up for a 3 ball is Clyde, and the rebound by White is blocked, and we go the other way. That's Goodwin looking for a trail. Numbers. But right now they have numbers. Is Drew, and laying it up in is White. 43-29. Under a minute to go. Walking it up the timeline right now is Nate Mason. He goes against Lupo. Back out to Shamsid Dean. Taj Shamsid Dean, who works against Brandon Clyde. And they're spreading it out, and Columbia employing the 4-corner offense. Made famous by Dean Smith, spreading it out and milking that clock. 24 seconds to go at the end of the 3rd quarter. Shamsid Dean still with it. The double team gets it off to Mason, stumbles going baseline, and tries to shovel it to Goodwin. And Goodwin and White had words and had to be separated. So things getting a little chippy here now. You see on the clock 16 ticks to go and a 14-point lead by Columbia. The biggest lead that Columbia has been able to enjoy here tonight has been 17, and the free throw opportunities right now. Drew 7 of 10. Columbia right now at the line in the person of Mason, 13 out of 17. He'll make it now 14 out of 18.
I wish I knew how many blocks that Horton, Thomas, and Goodwin have between them. I know Ed keep up with everything, but I believe they're probably in double digits as far as block shots tonight. They've really been impressive.
Kiara Crouch enters the basketball game right now. And you see Nate Mason, his numbers, 8 points, and really, along with Shamsid Dean, have done a nice job in controlling things for Coach McCrary here. Across the timeline is Lupo. Under pressure. He gets it over and calls for steps as Elisa. So the ball will go back over to Columbia with 8 ticks to go. the end to the third quarter. They'll try to get it up court, get it in a half-court set, and get a good shot. And they'll have a good opportunity. Little pressure, and the baseball pass to a wide open Jamal Reed. Tap up is good. Right there is Shamsuddin. 2 seconds. 1 second. The heave, and no avail. The heave by Clyde goes out. With the score now, 47-29, an 18-point lead, the biggest lead of the night. And Columbia 8 minutes away from collecting a state championship in 3A. We'll be right back live from Macon after these very important words on the great GPB.
Broadcast of this program is made possible in part by the following.
The German Consulate in Atlanta, encouraging you to study German and to learn more about our diverse culture with much to discover in 2012. More information about Germany as an environmental leader and other current topics on the web at germany.info/Atlanta.
When you invite a plumber into your home, do you know if they are state certified? Why is that even important to you? Here's why. A state certified plumber cannot misrepresent themselves by telling you that they can do a job only to find out later that they were not qualified. Now you're out of time and money. At Plumber 911, all our plumbers are certified by the state of Georgia. They have more than 10,000 hours of on-the-job and classroom training, plus a background check. Information available at 404-373-9114 or online at plumber911.net.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come.
The Class 2A state championship. Where are you going?
I'm going back to high school. Your dreams come
GPB's broadcast of high school championship basketball is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More.
More to come.
More Wilson.
Start of the fourth and final period here at Macon, and that's what they're playing for. And the Columbia Eagles now 8 minutes away from taking that hardware back to DeKalb County. Let's go over to our Nikki Noto. Nikki.
Gil, Columbia is known as a factory of cranking out athletes to the next level. In the past 6 years, Columbia has sent 8 players onto playing Division I ball. The most notable, of course, Travis Leslie, played at Georgia. He was drafted by the LA Clippers in 2011 in the second round. Herb, Gil, this will make you feel old. Travis, the guy that went to Georgia, was a 2008 graduate of Columbia. He was born in 1990. Kids playing in the big leagues.
Nikki, thank you. You didn't make me feel old. You may have made Herb feel old.
Well, doesn't take much.
Just kidding, Herb. We love you. Mason with the rebound for Columbia after the failed opportunity by Charles Drew. And you talked about that, a factory of athletes at Columbia, and what a job USAG, one of my faves, principal, and he talked to Mark Harmon, and they're getting things turned around at Columbia in a positive way. Off the turnover, and they have numbers.
And a positive start for the fourth quarter for Drew. They needed that.
And Elisa.
And another turnover.
Another turnover. They're sliding on the floor, and they're coming near us. That's Elisa with the basketball. To Rufus Brown across the timeline, and goes and hangs in the air and is off balance and
gonna get the charge
over people, and he's on the floor and he's hurt, but just playing out of control.
Yeah, that would have been big.
Right.
That would have been big to get 2 quick baskets to start the fourth quarter and cut it to 13.
Exactly. And Charles Drew right now playing with a sense of urgency, and you see the out of control Rufus Brown.
And was that Mason down there that drew the charge?
Yes.
No, it was Shamsuddin. Nope. It was Crouch. He took a shot at Crouch.
And, we talked about what the Columbia girls, and I was really touched by the interview done by Jackie Britton. With Doris Frost, who talked about her mom, who also is the head coach, and Shante Frost.
Well, Columbia starts the fourth quarter with 3 straight turnovers, not the way Coach McCreary wanted them to start it. And let's see if Drew can come up with some points out of this one.
4th foul on Horton. And that's big.
Probably in the 1-and-1.
Yeah, most definitely. Derek Fry will go to the line. And like I touched on that, Zuri Frost, who plays, she's a point guard for Columbia, the Eagles, and her mom is the coach, Shante Frost, and she talked about that because Jackie asked her, what's your greatest moment? Playing for your coach. And she says, that's my mom too. So, she doubles as a mom, and what a job she's done. And like I said earlier, if the men win tonight, the Columbia men, the Columbia boys, they will, for the second time in 3 years, they'll bring both championships back to DeKalb County.
Well, Drew's trying to make it interesting now. It's a 14-point ball game. They've scored the first 4 of this half. So
and Charles Drew hanging around and playing tough for Coach Davis.
And another turnover.
Off the turnover, and getting the turnover and getting the easy basket is Derek Fry. And here comes Charles Drew. They're now down by 12.
Well, they had him trapped in the double team, but they reached around and got the foul. Brown caught the foul. That's unfortunate because it looked like they were about to get the 5th turnover in a row.
You got a shot of Coach McCreary. Now you get a shot of Coach Davis.
And one of them didn't agree with the call.
That's the 3rd foul on Fry.
Well, Coach Davis could get a technical with that stare, couldn't he, if they're giving technicals for stairs?
You got that right. 6:58 in the final quarter.
He's laying the wood to his guys, saying, hey, boys, we're still in this ball game.
Final game of championship weekend here on the great GPB.
Well, we saw it Savannah with the big comeback last night, and then the Manchester game earlier came from 25, cut 17 points off in the 4th quarter. Couldn't get the job done. That's too far to come back. But this game is certainly still within reach for Drew.
You see the many of the Hoopaholics who stayed here in Macon. And we started this thing at 9:30 a.m. on GPB with the wheelchair game, and we've gone through all the way until prime time with Herb White.
Well, speaking of old Eddie Ashley over there is the PA announcer here, and we were talking earlier, and I asked him, I've been here 15 years. I know you've been here as long as I have. How long have you been here doing this? 37 years over there on the microphone. And that's an air ball on a free throw. There's Eddie. Does a great job.
Yes, he does.
I'd like to hear him sing some country songs with that rough voice he's got, kind of like Waylon Jennings.
Kind of look like, Waylon Jennings and a little bit of Kenny Rogers kind of sprinkled in.
Exactly.
Love that gray look.
Or Bobby Crimmins. And good job, Drew, drawing another foul.
Continually getting done, and driving through was Lupo, out of control, but he draws a foul. So Laffy Lupo will go to the line.
And Drew coming out a little more aggressive in this 4th quarter, knowing that this is their last gasp.
Sense of urgency right now for the Titans. Up and in by Lupo. That'll draw the Titans within 11.
Well, Columbia yet to score here in the 4th quarter, so Drew can cut it down to a 10-point margin.
If you just joined us, Columbia's biggest lead has been 19. And right now, the Titans of Drew, and here come the Titans, are on an 8-0 run. And breaking the press is Shamsik Dean. Cross court to Mason. Backing it out to Shamsik Dean, who is guarded by Elisa. He gets by Elisa, and coming over to help was Rufus Brown. And he runs right into Shamsik Dean. And you got a feeling right now that Coach McCreary is going into that 4 corners and kind of milking this clock right now.
Well, you got to be smart about who you're trying to really steal the ball from. Shamsik Dean is not the kind of guy you're going to be able to take the ball away from. And Rufus Brown just out of control rushing at him. And that one hurts. I make Columbia score the basket. Don't put them on the free throw line. It's you got a nice comeback going. Don't give them the free points.
Coming in a basketball game right now is Justin Thomas. And going out is Goodwin. Shamsik Dean again. Around and no good. 48-37. The rebound taken down by Lupo. Ahead and spotting up for a three ball deep in the left corner was Graves. And with the rebound is Columbia. Breaking the pressure is Mason. And driving in and backing it out was Crouch. To Mason, driving, bounce pass, stolen away, and we go the other way. That's Lupo in traffic. Great no-look pass, and the lay-in by Rufus Brown. 48-39. That's Shamsick Dean in traffic, off glass, and the rebound fought for and knocked out of bounds by Charles Drew. So Columbia will retain possession. Herb White.
A little bit of a force there by Dean. Probably should have pulled that one back out, went in among the trees. And I'm very impressed with Drew. They're really coming out with their pressure. And boy, you keep expecting one of those threes to fall for them. They haven't made one tonight. I think they're 0 for 6 or 7. But boy, if they can drop one of those in the next minute or two, it'd be big.
Jamal Reed being harassed, but backs it out to Shamsick Dean. He gets by the double team, balls on the floor, and stolen away by Drew. Ahead and laying it up and off glass was Corey Graves, and coming from behind to make him pay was Jamal Reed.
Let's see this. Controversy out there at half court. Thought that Dean probably got, no, he just slipped. That's a good no call by the official, and going to go to the line for 2.
That's Reed, number 4 on Reed. So quietly, Columbia getting into foul trouble.
And Corey Graves has got 2 big free throws coming up right now.
48-39, the lead down to 9. It was at 19. Now it's down to 8. 48-40.
And Drew knocking down all their charity tosses here in the 4th quarter, rising to the occasion.
And the folks from Clayton County via Riverdale are showing some life right now. The second shot is around and out. And getting the rebound was Jamal Reed.
And he was held.
So we'll go the other way. And that's 4 on Rufus Brown. So both these teams flirting with the possibility of losing guys via leaving the game because of fouls. You see the scoring run for the Titans, 11-1 in this 4th and final quarter. Like I said, they trailed by as many as 19, and they've got back in it courtesy of that 11-1 run.
Well, Rufus Brown's got to be smart. He's an integral player for this team. He does a lot of different things for Drew, so he needs to not foul and stay in this ball game.
Jamal Reed made the second. It's now 49-40. That's Lupo working against Shamsick Dean. Lupo again.
And a reach around.
A little stop and go. And they're going to get Shamsick Dean on the foul. On the reach, and that's his second.
And he's going to be in the 2-shot penalty here in a moment.
5:30 left in the State 3A championship game, our final game of championship weekend. Gil Tyree and Herb White, we're glad to have you with us here on GPB tonight.
And that's big. Drew's going to be in the 2-shot penalty from here on out, so takes a little bit of the pressure off of you when you step to that line.
Laffy Lupo at the line. He made the first. Lupo will go up there again with another opportunity to get this lead down to 7. And the missed opportunity, ball on the floor, retained and taken by Columbia. It's Dean to Mason, back to Dean, getting across the timeline, avoids pressure. He's being harassed by Graves. Spreading it out right now, and a nice save. And the ball stolen again, but regained by Columbia, and they whistle Charles Drew for the foul. And right now, Corey Graves is the culprit.
Elisa got the foul, got him with the hip. And this is why I think they need a shot clock in high school basketball. Columbia's taking the air out of the ball now, and that's what you do. If you play smart, you got the big lead, and you make them foul you.
4 fouls for Aliza. And going to the line is Mason. The first opportunity, no good.
I think a 40-second shot clock would be good for high school kids. It gives you plenty of time with the athletes and players they have these days in high school.
Second opportunity, in and out. Still an 8-point lead by Columbia.
Now this could get real interesting here with a score by Drew.
Going across the timeline right now was Lupo. He gets it over to Brown. Spot up 3 ball, in and out by Elisa.
Yes, nice pass by Brown.
Working the back door and getting it up and in is Corey Graves. 49-43, the lead cut to 6. And quickly calling a timeout after being harassed was Sham Siddin. And the Titans have come to life with 4:40 left. And we're going to keep it right here in Macon. Fasten your seatbelts, folks.
Well, Drew has done a good job. It hasn't been a sudden burst. It's been since the start of the 4th quarter. They've cut 7 points off of that lead, and Columbia's only scored 2 points here in the 4th quarter, I believe. They had 47 to start the quarter, so give Drew a lot of credit for mounting a big comeback here.
Take a trip around the great state of Georgia on Georgia Traveler. From the mountains to the coast, our traveling team explores the state's most beautiful, exciting, and unique treasures. Don't miss Georgia Traveler on the great GPB. That David Zulski is one fantastic guy to watch. And he's been hosting the show for years now. And also, we tell you about Football Fridays here on GPB as well. A lot of great programs on GPB. We do it all. We do it all.
I tell you, I thought that 3-pointer went down and in and came out just a moment ago for Drew. I thought that was the one that was going to change the ball game. And Drew 6 for 8 on free throws in this quarter, and they were 7 for 10. So they have not made a 3. I think they're like 0 for 8 or 9 in the ball game, and I still think one's going to fall before the final buzzer. And if it falls in the next 2 minutes, it could be huge.
The biggest lead enjoyed by Columbia has been at 19. And Charles Drew, the Titans have come back with a bang and now trail with, they come within 6. They're down 6. And employing that trap, which is really giving the Eagles some problems, but we got a whistle right there.
Well, they got the quick foul. I don't know if the coach wanted them to do that or not, but Columbia has not been converting from the free throw line. So here's a couple big ones coming up for Shamsid excuse me.
Shamsuddin, Kaj Shamsuddin. The foul on Corey Graves, his second. So Shamsuddin on the line. Taj Sham.
Quit rubbing it in, will you?
First one up and in. 50-43. 4:36 in the final quarter here at Macon. And what has been an outstanding championship weekend. And we can't thank the folks at the Georgia High School Association, Doc Slurngin and company, for giving us the opportunity to come into your living room with high school basketball at its best.
All right, you got a half-court trap now, 1-2-2. Trying to take some time off the clock with this deal is what they're trying to do, make Drew use some time up off the clock to get it going.
Columbia has gone zone. And the launching the 3 right there was Lupo. And the rebound taken down by Columbia. And streaking and going and laying it up to no avail was Crouch. But Columbia gets it back. And driving through traffic was Jamal Reed.
Double dribble.
And he's called for the double dribble. So just like that, the ball gets turned over. And it goes back to the Titans. You see the time on the clock. And you see the lead enjoyed by Columbia. 51-43. Token pressure by Columbia. They back up in that zone. And a foul in the reach-in called on Jamal Reed. And Corey Graves will go in the line. And if that's Reed, he's done.
And that is 5 on Reed.
And that's a big loss. And Goodwin will come in to replace him.
Graves at the line. He's got a nice stroke from there. These are big free throws. This can cut it down to 6 points. It'll be a 2-possession game.
So Jamal Reed is out. He is just fouled out of this basketball game for Columbia. And on the line right now is Corey Graves. The first opportunity up. And now good.
Good looking for him. Just got Drew back iron. I bet you this one goes.
He'll get another opportunity. 3:58 in this basketball game. The second one. Opportunity. It goes. 51-44. Columbia gets it in, but they are being harassed by that trap. And that's Shamsuddin being harassed. He gets it across the timeline, going against Lupo. Over on to Goodwin, and they'll back it out. That's Shamsuddin. And he drove the lane, and he was fouled, and it looked like the culprit was Derek Fry.
Fry thought he got ball, but he must have got a little bit of the wrist.
But you see right now, Coach McCreary employing that four-corner offense and trying to get things and milking that clock and spreading this thing out. And for Fry, he's done. Or correct me, that was Elisa. If that's Elisa, he's done.
I thought Fry was the man.
I thought Fry was the guy.
Fry was the guy.
Initially, he was in the neighborhood.
Well, sometimes, you know, Gil, when you go to that...
It is Elisa.
Okay.
And that's a big loss.
Yes, it is. Sometimes when you go to that delay game or that stall, you can take yourself out of your offensive rhythm and you start forcing up some bad shots and big free throws here.
You see the towel and the dejection on the face of Elisa. And he's been the lone bright spot for one of the many, I should say. And this was a highlight reel. I think it should be going to ESPN, you know, top 10.
He had more moves on that one play than I had in my career.
We get that GPB logo. Sell the brand worldwide.
Well, the problem now for Drew is that Shamsid Dean is going to have the ball in his hands, and he's made his last 4 free throws. So he's not going to give it up unless he has to, and they're going to have to foul him. So difficult decisions for Drew.
53-44, getting it across the timeline. Here's Drew, spotting up for 3. Here's Rufus Brown to miss the ball on the floor and controlled by Goodwin. The outlet right there to Crouch.
Well, I believe I'd have fouled Goodwin while he had the ball in his hands.
To Mason to Sam Dean. Over to Mason. To Crouch. To Mason. To Dean. Dean under pressure. Double team. Gets it over to Mason in the corner. To Goodwin. Off glass. No good. The rebound controlled by Graves, and we go the other way. Drew with numbers. And backing out with the basketball was Clyde. Brandon Clyde.
Well, that's an excellent decision by Clyde there. He saw that he did not have the advantage on the break, and again, every scoring opportunity you have to take advantage of now, so Drew will get another opportunity to run something and convert.
Justin Thomas in for Columbia, and Damian Goodwin out. The substitution by Coach McCreary. 3 minutes, right at 3 minutes. With the ball right now is Lupo. And you see Brown on baseline and able to get it up and in for Drew. And quickly like that, Coach Davis takes a timeout.
Excellent interior passing there by Drew to come up with the bucket. And let's see it again. A couple of nice passes. Here's Brown on the penetration with the little left-handed scoop. Nice. Just what they needed. Now it's a 7-point ball game.
Corey Graves working baseline right now. Corey Graves, Elisa have really helped. I thought David White has helped him out a little bit.
Yep, they're going to try to keep the ball out of Shamsuddin's hands. That's tough to do, but it's a lot easier to keep it away from him than to take it away from him once he gets it. And again, he's knocking down his free throws. So if you're going to foul somebody, you don't have to foul right now. You go for the steal for a while, see if you can't come up with it.
You get a look at huddles of both of these basketball teams. Earlier we saw Charles Drew. Now we're looking at Columbia. And you see that Columbia is really dialed it up.
Yeah, the turnovers have really become big for Columbia. I think they had 10 or 11 at half, and so they've doubled that here in the fourth quarter.
And many of the spectators who have stayed here on what has been a long, outstanding day. Can't say enough for what the city of Macon has done. They really support the Georgia High School Association, and also Duluth as well. Do a great job in hosting these games. And we're proud to be a part of the family. The trap employed by Drew, almost stolen away, but Shamsid Dean is able to get it through. And he finds a man there, and that is Justin Thomas.
And Brown
and the lead is at 9.
Had to let him go.
Quickly, Drew. Launching a 3 was Clyde. Still with the basketball. That's Lupo. The miss and the follow going over the top.
Well, they're going to give it to Drew out of bounds.
But it was off a Columbia player, so the Titans retain possession. Off the inbounds is Rufus Brown, a 3. No good. by Lupo. So we go the other way.
Well,
They're going to try to trap Sham Sigdeen. And coming over for the foul was Derek Fry.
I imagine if you ask Coach Davis if you've had a game where they've shot 10 or 12 three-pointers and haven't made any. So it's, they are ice cold from the arc.
The fourth foul on Fry. So Taj Shamsigdeen at the line. The first opportunity up and in. And that lead now at 10. Like I said, their biggest lead of the night, the Eagles' biggest lead, has been 19.
Well, Taj's money at the free throw line. I think this will be 6 straight conversions if he makes this one. And Herb puts the jinx on it.
But he gets it a rolling rebound and he'll back it out. Gets it over to Mason. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Shamsigdeen. And Mason again, who is trapped, gets through. Goes over to Crouch. Crouch defended by Lupo. Coming over to help him right there is Fry. And Fry with the push. And that could be it for Fry on the foul. And it is. Fry is done. So he fouls out of the basketball game. That's a big loss. David White in to replace him.
Well, that's not a bad foul. You need to have them shoot free throws and see if he can't get the ball back. Columbia's guards getting it done from the stripe.
Kier Crouch at the line. The second opportunity up and in. Now 12-point lead. Under 2 minutes. Clyde across the timeline. Over to Brown. Off the cut and shooting a 3 was Graves to no avail. With the rebound is Columbia. Shamsigdeen controlling it. Goes over to Mason across the timeline, the double rings. And they find lurking on the baseline is Thomas. And my goodness, that will not go.
Ooh, that was the one-handed tomahawk. Lordy. That one's registered on the Richter scale. There's a stare.
And that's the third on Graves.
See if the big fella can convert a couple.
An impressive looking big fella, I may add. First opportunity for Thomas. No good.
Let's
second opportunity.
Thank our excellent production crew for this weekend, because as always they make it all possible and just do a fantastic job, and they've been doing it for the 15 years I've been involved.
Well, the guys have been out in the truck, everybody, the men and women, the support staff, and the same people that brought you the great pictures in football or bring them to them in basketball, bring them to you. And we can't say enough, Herb, of the outstanding people, the people who are passionate at GPB. And it starts, like I said, it starts up top with Taya Ryan, and it filters on down. And it has a domino effect.
Taya Ryan, as soon as she came to GPB, made a commitment to high school sports, and it's been incredible what's been done over the last year and a half.
Shamsigdeen across the timeline, being harassed. Gets it out to Mason. Mason driving, will back out again. And Shamsigdeen forcing Drew to foul, and they're going to have to. And fouling Shamsigdeen was Clyde. And that's 3 on Clyde.
I was talking to Gary Peacock earlier, our legendary cameraman, and about how long we've been doing this, and he told me, reminded me, we started in 1992 with Prep Sports Plus, our first shows, so quite a while back.
And see it now as you fast forward. And look at it now. First opportunity by Shamsigdeen goes. It's now 60-46.
And Phil McCrary is going to add, they're going to have a crowded trophy case again, because it's 3 now. Or is this 3 in a row for him?
Correct. Yeah. Miles Woodbury in for Columbia.
And for the 3rd year of existence, Charles Drew and Clayton County, what a job they've done with that program to get it started. And Coach Davis disappointed right now, but he's got to be proud of his team. And so do their fans, because they've come a long way in a very short time.
Coach McCray clearing his bench, and is like Herb just said, they're on the cusp of winning a third straight 3A title. Mason ahead across the timeline right now. Double team. Slithers his way through. And still double teams. Finds on the baseline. Thomas, he backs it out to Shamsik-Dean. Over the right side right now. And Miles Woodbury and the faithful here of Columbia can smell it. 61-46. And they're going to take 2 titles back to DeKalb County. So Philip McCrary will join Shante Provost to bring back a title, and that's the 4th on Clyde. And Miles Woodbury at the line to push this lead even some more. And they're hooping and hollering right now. You see the Columbia Nation made the trip down here to Macon. Coming back with double the hardware.
Rufus Brown, I was really impressed with his game tonight. Gave it everything he had, did a lot of great things for Drew.
62-46. Under a minute. 29 seconds to go. Brandon Gaucher in the ball game now. He's going to spot up and shoot a jumper, and it's in. Wow. And a 3-ball. 62-46. 12 seconds. And they're just going to run out the clock through. They're not even going to attempt the last opportunity, not in to get their offensive set. And shooting up is Graves, and no good, and that is it. 65-46. 19-point lead. And a win now, 19 points by Columbia. And let the celebration begin as they down through 65-46. And Shamsik-Dean, 17 points. Let's listen in on the celebration. Congrats to Coach McCray, and also congratulations to an outstanding job to Jared Davis, the head coach of the Titans of Charles Drew, and they have nothing to be ashamed of, Herb White. Nothing at all.
No, they went up against a veteran team with too much inside dominance, and they fought hard all night long and got it down, I believe, to 6 points, maybe even 5 in the 4th quarter, but just couldn't bring it through as Columbia soared through with the Eagles and made the free throws when they needed to.
We'll be back with a trophy presentation after these very important messages. Columbia, the Eagles, are the boys Class 3A state champions here in the great state of Georgia. We'll be right back after these very important messages.
GPB's broadcast of high school championship basketball is made possible in part by supporters of the Georgia High School Association, including the following.
More heart.
More drive. More will.
More guts.
More sweat.
More dedication.
More practice. More control.
More clutch.
More hard work.
More fun.
More family.
More love.
More basketball.
Baseball.
College tennis.
More every day.
More everything. More.
More to come.
More Wilson.
The GHSA Basketball Championships are made possible in part by Regions Bank. It's time to expect more. Georgia's Electric Membership Corporation, lighting the way. And by viewers like you. Thank you. The GHSA would like to thank Georgia Farm Bureau Insurance, Verizon Wireless, and Wilson.
PBS celebrates the legends of classic country.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
I'm gonna make my brown eyes blue.
Please help me, I'm falling.
Monday at 7:30 on GPB.
legend Ronnie Spector and John Bowser Bauman bring your favorite rock, pop, and doo-wop memories back to the stage in an all-new My Music PBS special.
Tuesday at 8:30 on GPB.
Let's go to Mark Harmon now for the trophy presentation for the state champions in 3A, the Columbia Eagles. Marky Mark, it's all yours.
Thank you, Gail. Time now to hand out the trophy for the Class 3A Boys State Championship. For that, we go to Ernie Yarborough of the GHSA.
Thank you, Mark, and congratulations to Columbia High School for another championship. And we are pleased to say that we have representatives from our corporate sponsor, Georgia Farm Bureau, who always presents the trophies.
Coach, on behalf of Georgia Farm Bureau, I want to say congratulations. Good job tonight, guys.
Coach, as you hand that off to your players, let me ask you, this was a tough season. You guys back to back to back, 4 of the last 5. Talk about the trip.
Well, it's been a wonderful ride. First of all, I'd like to thank our fans, our supporters, board members from the school system, our athletic department, as well as our strong support of our fans. As far as the season concerned, I can't say enough about the seniors and the leadership that they provided for us. And then with the underclassmen that we have, you know, they came and stuff and played their role and did things that we expected for them to do. And again, this was for our fans.
Talk about those fans. It's been quite the night. Columbia's girls and boys state champs.
Well, you know, that says a lot. It says a lot for the athletic program at Columbia High School. It shows the hard work that Coach Frost put in with her girls, as well as the work that we put in with our guys. You couldn't ask for anything better than the way to cap it off for the night.
Okay, let's talk to Damien real quick. Damien, what's this mean to you to win this state championship?
It means a lot. I mean, we worked from summertime to now to get this. I've been working forever.
Sure. My superintendent is in the building. Dr. Cheryl Atkinson, would you please come down, please, and let us present you with this trophy, as well as my principal, Mr. Uris Agee.
And it's his birthday today, so happy birthday to Uris. Columbia's Eagles, the boys, 3A state champs. We'll send it back now to Gil and Herb for some final thoughts.
Okay, Mark, thank you. And, of course, what an outstanding job done by Coach McCreary. And, you know, Uris Agee, we say happy birthday. And, Coach, we started this championship weekend, Herb White. We started with dual champions for Miller Grove. We ended with dual champions for Columbia. How about that?
Yeah, and you know, when you hear these kids talking about it, this thing starts in the summer and they really work, you know, to win a championship. And all the teams, not just the winners, all these teams start in the summertime and they work their tails off all year round, and they got to keep their grades up, of course, to maintain their eligibility. So hats off to all the athletes, girls and boys we've seen in these championships the last week, and all the kids that participate in high school athletics across the state of Georgia.
Let's take a look at the highlights of this basketball game. Won by Columbia 65-49. You get a shot of the many fans that came down, and of course Coach Davis, Jared Davis, doing an outstanding job at Charles Drew. And you see Coach McCreary getting his game face on, and the ability of the big fellas to go down low and get things done. And so many people contributed to this victory tonight for the Columbia Eagles.
It's great to have a kid like Shamsid Dean that you can hand the ball off to late in the game. In the last 3 minutes, he just took over and kept the ball in his hands and got the fouls and made the free throws.
Let me say thank you to you, Herb White. You put up for me for 2 days, and you did a great job. And, of course, we crown our final champion here at Macon tonight. Let's go over to our Mark Harmon, who's been a busy man as well. Marky Mark, it's all yours.
Gil, thank you so much. What a great championship weekend it has been. 11 state champions crowned, 5 yesterday, 6 again today. Let's check in now with Jackie Britton for one last look at our online chat that began this morning, bright and early. Breakfast at the state championships at 11 a.m.
That's right. Everyone's been chatting with us all day long from all over the world, and we've appreciated hearing from you. But let's get to those final results of our poll that we've been taking votes on all day long. The question is, suspension for using a cell phone during a game too harsh of a punishment, or is it appropriate? And the final results of the night, 75% of you say, yeah, that's a little too harsh. And that will do it for the poll. But don't forget to download the GPB Sports football app on your iPhone or your iPad as we head into football season and get ready for Football Fridays in Georgia. Mark, what do you say we call it a day?
We're getting pretty close, I tell you that. It's been a great 48 hours here on the great GPB Championship weekend. Let's take a look at the Georgia EMC High School basketball scoreboard. We will show you how all champions were decided. And yesterday at Miller Grove, well, we got the Wesleyan games from today. It's Wesleyan winning in women's single A over Sac up 68-44. And other games we have coming up. Athens Christian, a loser, Whitfield Academy, the winner there, and boys 1A, 68-43. In Double A, it was Lovett winning 52-42 over the Beaufort Wolves. Elsewhere in the boys, we've got Laney, a winner today, over Manchester, 67-53. And then in the AAA games, it was a clean sweep for the Columbia Eagles. The girls winning 57-33 over Washington County. And then the boys have just defeated Drew by a score of 65-46. So that puts a wrap on everything. Of course, Miller Grove swept in boys and girls. McEachern's 5A girls won, and the Milton 5A boys won as well. So congratulations to all 11 champions this year, including the wheelchair champions, to all the coaches, to all the players, to all the cheerleaders, to all the fans and parents who took part today and all the year long. It's been a great 48 hours on GPB as all these champions were crowned. We thank you very much for watching and look forward to this fall when the Corky Kell Classic and our Football Fridays in Georgia gets going. The best prep pigskin action bar none in the entire state of Georgia. We want to thank all the people that contributed on this broadcast behind the scenes. They did a fantastic job bringing you all these basketball games all day long. It's been great. Up in Gwinnett yesterday, down here in Macon today. So
this is a GPB original production.
It was as if they were invisible. It was as if their remarkable accomplishments didn't matter.